This is going to be the person who is responsible for either bringing Ghost back or keeping him off the show. This is the person. And if you listen to what he's saying in this particular interview, you'll know that unless he's cool with it, it ain't happening. Hey everyone, Just Be here. And again, I'm going to be reacting to the latest episode of the Crew Has It podcast where they had the Ghost Season 3 premiere recap, because I caught some pretty interesting clues as to some developments that happen behind the scenes that definitely can affect what's going to happen in front of the camera. And the biggest thing I'm going to talk about here is, for everyone, just letting you know right now, I'm going to be talking about how possible it is for Ghost to come back. Wait. Even if it's like as a spirit or something, or as an illusion, right? But this is going to be the person who is responsible for either bringing Ghost back or keeping him off the show. This is the person. And if you listen to what he's saying in this particular interview, you'll know that unless he's cool with it, it ain't happening. So I want to run this back and we're going to react to it. The guy you're seeing there on the left is Mark Canton. And for as long as I watched Power, I never knew who this person was until I watched this specific live recap that they had. And apparently, if you listen to him, he is the guy who created Power. It's in part Courtney, it's in part 50, but it was his idea based on what he's saying. Check this out real quickly.
Idea.
Right.
And it really was in a meeting in my office that was an idea that was based upon a thought from an experience that I had in my own life, thinking that guys, usually if they ever mature, they get there a little later than women. Right. So you two understand that better than most.
Yeah.
So we know,
we know, Mark.
Yeah, we know. So basically, my theory was that guys in their late 30s who are successful, you either make a turn in one direction or another. You either get your shit together or you're going to go get stuck in life, go backwards. So it was an idea that then became like, well, what if the guy was really great at being really bad?
Right.
And everybody was riding his coattails, so why would anyone want him to change?
Right.
So that was the legitimate club thing for Ghost Omari that happened. And I met only a couple of writers, and Courtney was like the second person.
The character of Ghost, at least in seed form, is him.
We met, and of course, within no time, she had figured out the entire Shakespearean tale, everything that you need to figure out as an elite thinker and writer, an exceptional person. So she had it down, and I had known 50 before, mainly because I wanted to. Because who didn't, and who don't?
Right. He's the man.
He's the man. So basically, we met with Courtney. 50 and I had a meeting in LA. I literally hardly got the words out of my mouth, and he goes, I have enormous respect for what you've done. Whatever you want to do, I want to do. And then Courtney and 50 took this germ of an idea, and everything evolved from then. And it's 11 or 12 years later now.
Yeah, and their shows.
Series.
So you heard out of his mouth, he's the one who surprisingly created the entire idea, at least like I said, in seed form for the show. And 50 and Courtney came along. He hired them, reached out to them so that they can help really develop it. So I've never seen Mark actually credited as the creator of Power. It's always been Courtney. And so that was interesting, but this isn't the part that I wanted to specifically focus on, right? I want you to keep Mark's name in mind. Let's put it there for a second, and let's start to think of this as a hierarchy of power behind the scenes and how we could possibly see this work out, right? I'm going to fast forward a little bit to some other news and check out this person who comes up after him. So now we have some of the cast up here. We got Gianni, we got Alex, and we also got Michael up here, right? And next to them is the new showrunner of Ghost, Brett Mahoney. Now, Brett's background is interesting as to how he got on the show. And he's the guy that's going to determine if we ever see Ghost come back. And let me show you why.
Girls that get it.
Right.
Yes.
He is very
So
Yes.
when you, because I know, when did you come into Ghost? Because you were on Power, earlier on. When did you come into Ghost?
I actually wasn't on Power. So I wasn't on
But didn't you were in a writer's room early on, or?
Not on Power, no. Courtney was doing. Courtney and I go way back.
Right,
Courtney and
that's what
I wrote together on a show called Eli Stone, and we literally wrote scripts together.
Right.
And we came up together. So when Courtney, I was actually. with Courtney when she got the call that Power was being picked up to pilot.
That's what it was. Because
Yeah.
Courtney said that on the podcast.
Yeah, we were having lunch,
Right.
so it was a trip. And then when
Crazy.
Courtney,
That's
when
crazy.
Courtney
That's
started
mystery.
Power, I was running the following, and literally we were on the same floor at Steiner Studios. Our offices were next to each other.
Wow, that's cool.
That's insane.
Were you guys like, oh my God, we
Yeah,
did
it was totally trippy. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so when I finished Empire, Courtney was looking for someone to help her when she was expanding the whole Power universe. I
Right.
said, sure, I'll help you run this universe. And so I joined Ghost as we were going to season 2.
Right.
And because of COVID, we were still working on the finale
that
of season
COVID
1.
So, Brad, he used to work with Courtney. He has history with Courtney, who was the executive producer of Power. So now, in the entire scope of things, he's now showrunner. He's calling mainly a lot of the shots, right? So Mark is still credited as an executive producer. He's still credited as executive producer as well, but he is the showrunner, meaning that the creative direction of the show, more or less, is going to be his say-so, right? So he's Courtney's boy. And if you saw my other video, you'll know that based off of some information that was revealed in that, allegedly, she may be responsible for Omari not being on the show anymore, or Ghost's character being deleted. So here's the main point of what I'm trying to get to.
Like, really messed us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
So when you were writing Kane for 2 and a lot of 3, was there like, did you immediately see, okay, Woody's got the comedic chops, or was it kind of like, we're just gonna write this serious character and see what Woody does with it? Like,
So Brett Mahoney is now the showrunner, meaning that anything that's going to happen on this particular show, Ghost, like I said, it's going to be him calling the shots, right? Him and the team of executive producers on it, right? So if you actually checked out the intro for the new intro for book 3, you will see that when they're listing all the names and all the titles and who's doing what, Courtney is still listed as executive producer. So is Mark, and so is 50. The reason that's important is because 50 actually left Stars last year. It was a big public thing, and he had a big spat with them, and he actually exited the network. And Courtney also herself got a exclusive deal with Netflix, and she's no longer even with them either. So a little over a year and a half ago, it was announced that Courtney actually got an exclusive deal with Netflix to exclusively being the operative word here, develop content on their platform, which means that she can no longer be involved in the day-to-day of Power. So now that's why Brett came along, or boy Brett came along to take over. So here is the Deadline article in which that was announced, and it talks a little bit about what's going on with it and so forth. But the key thing here to notice about this, right, is in this specific article in the Hollywood Reporter a couple of months later, the reporter asks her, before leaving Lionsgate, which is the parent company of Stars, which is the network that Power airs on, you launched 2 Power spin-offs at Stars, and there are more coming. How involved do you plan to be? Courtney goes on to say, I'm not completely divested from them, but Netflix is my focus. New business is my focus. As the sunflower turns toward the sun, we turn toward the development of new projects. So that's why Brett took over. Now, why is this all important? B, why are you telling us all this? Okay, get to the point. Here's the point. If there was at all of a slight, and I know people have said, oh, get over it, he's dead, and da-da-da-da. It's like, listen, take that negativity over there, okay? All right? I know that it sometimes can be a little bit delusional, but let me have my delusion, or the small handful of us that still believe that Ghost might be alive, right? Let us have our little delusional fantasy. What's wrong with y'all? All right? So let's say, even if he didn't come back alive, if we wanted him to appear as a spirit or a hallucination, right, or something on the show, Brett Mahoney is going to be the guy that is responsible for making that happen. He's going to be the guy. And if he is not calling the shots on that, we can kiss that dream goodbye. Now, the reason why I wanted to highlight him is because if you listen to his history, he says that he goes back with Courtney. And if you watched my other video where I talked about the reason Omari left, or was his character was actually deleted off the show, he allegedly says it's because of Courtney. So, if loyalty works how loyalty is supposed to work, if Brett's not his own man and his own producer and showrunner, if he still picks up the phone and says, hey, CK, we're going to be trying to, bring back Ghost for a scene or something like that, and we're thinking about that. How do you think that phone, no, honestly and truly, if there's beef, how do you think that phone call is going to go if he does that? She says that she's not all the way involved, but she still has a little bit of sprinklings within the show, right? And if that's my boy, and if my boy more than likely knew the beef, my boy is going to run that back to me before he makes that decision. You feel what I'm saying with this? Now, some of you guys might say, oh, you're looking too deep into it, man. It's not that serious. Is there even beef and blah, 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 blah? Let's go over to good old Instagram for a second. So here is January 9th, 2023, right? It was Omari Hardwick's birthday. And here is the picture that Courtney Kemp put up to wish him happy birthday. She says in the caption, happy birthday to my two favorite January babies, Omari and her cousin, whatever the tag is. All right, both talented genius caps at the top of their fields. I'm so proud to know both of you. It's a great week. Omari was today and Trina is tomorrow. All right? Okay. Bernard, where do you see beef in there? So then Omari comments, he's just like, thank you, CK. Prayer hands, right? Okay, he said thanks. Yeah, okay. Now watch this, right? Here is Naturi Naughton's birthday post for Omari. Watch this now. She makes this very illustrious caption, say, oh, this is my first day of work, and one of the first scenes I shot with you nearly 10 years ago on Power, and now we have a lifetime of friendship. Happy birthday, Omari. And she goes on, we laughed together, we cried together, we fought together, we taught each other, right? She goes on, beautiful caption, right? Here's his comment. Earth Mother Queen. Right? I'm just kidding. He doesn't say that, right? But I was just commenting on your heart the other day. Your golden heart. I'm proud to know you, to have been able to challenge you and grow with you, to be challenged by you. You've had my back in this journey and so on and so forth. Love you, Ters. Now tell me something. What's the difference between these two comments right here? One has heart and one has effort and one has sincerity, right? The other one, yeah, whatever, thanks. Right? Thanks. Damn, why should have tagged me? She know what it is. But this one wears real love. You feel me? So anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking into it too deep, right? I'm open to being corrected with this right here. But my point being, if anyone's going to be responsible for him coming back, it's hands down, it's going to be Brett. And Brett, in his new role as showrunner, is going to have to make some tough decisions and some very hard ones, right? But also creative ones that drive story. So as much as we want to see, Ghost come back in some capacity, doesn't have to be alive, but in some capacity, he's going to have to make some tough decisions as it relates to the kind that drives story, and that's going to make it impactful and bring the fan base together and really, really tell, a tale that people can really be drawn to. Because right now, Ghost has its moments, but it could be so much more if the fans got the payoff that they wanted. But again, I could be wrong, guys, and maybe I'm looking too deeply into things. So it is what it is. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And until next time, peace.